legacy. I think it's important to remember that our mom was a quintessential wife, mama, and Mima, as her grandkids called her. She put all of us first and loved nothing more than sharing time, food, always too much of it, and leftovers with family and friends. She was the last to sit down at the table and the first to jump up to start cleaning, often before anyone else had even finished eating. She passed on a tireless work ethic and, yes, her perfectionism. So my apologies to Tom, Terry, and Lynn, who have to suffer through that perfectionist that we inherited from her. More importantly, she gave us her fierce love, unconditional support, and a reminder that every moment deserves to be treasured. We owe so much of who we are to her. She was our center, our anchor, our biggest champion, and she leaves a gap as wide as her heart. So in the words of Thomas Campbell, to live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. So to our sweet Shirley, Mama and Mima, we love you, we miss you, and you will live on in our stories, our routines, our recipes, and forever in our hearts.
Well, there's one thing about it. We learned all the family secrets. The second day after this fine lady was carried home, I went to visit them, and I asked Roy, I said, Roy, how would you describe your wife? He simply said she was a beautiful person. And I don't believe he meant that she was just beautiful outwardly. That to him she was beautiful inwardly. To me, that's the most important beauty. He said she practiced to her, everyone else came first. The children came first, he came first, everyone came first. She was a very self-giving person. And as stated, she truly loved her family. And then he told me she was a perfectionist. And they began to describe the perfection that went on in that house. And I felt sorry for Roy. I said, man, you really had to deal with, didn't you? He told me, he said, well, I said, I learned that when she had to do something, I knew she'd done it professionally, but if I didn't, she would eventually done it. I would jump up and say, well, I'm ready to do it now. I said, no, I already got it done. The man is smart. But this came from a man that lived with her. I've heard 63 years and 65 years, whatever, 60 plus years. He knew her well. And it sounds like the girls knew her well. And it was just a wonderful time to experience this. I also asked the children how they would describe her, their mother. And amazing to me, they said she made breakfast, even digging out the grapefruit so we wouldn't have to. I said, boy, you talking about professionalism. But I could see three girls standing there digging grapefruit out at the same time. She probably thought it was a lot easier to do it herself. And said she had an awesome work ethic, which she instilled in each of us. And as was told just a moment ago by Laura, they have also passed it on to their children, to the grandchildren. I think it's a wonderful thing that we pass on a legacy of doing things that are right and doing things that are good. And she said that they said that the Christmas at her house was absolutely awesome. And when they said that with all the enthusiasm in their faces, I thought, wow, I wish I'd have been there. But they said the children just loved it so much. Now, there's one thing that I personally remember about these two that was prior to their 50th wedding anniversary. the girls decided they were going to go all out to celebrate the 50th anniversary. So they told him, said, we're going to let you repeat your vows. And that is when the wheel ran off. He said, I already said them one time and I ain't saying them again. I'll never forget that. That's going down in my long-term memory bank. I didn't follow up on that to see if he was beaten or anything, but we see he survived. After 63 years of being married to Shirley, we find that those vows Roy had spoken before Shirley and God were effectively carried out to the letter. He never gave up on helping with her. And he told me, he said, I've done things that I never thought I'd do. See, he always had women in the house. They could wash clothes, and they could iron, and they could get up, and they could make up beds, and they could do all these things. I doubt he even knew how to cook all that much. But he learned. He didn't give up. He never gave out. His strength endured right to the end because he said, I love her enough to sacrifice my time, my effort, my strength, and all that I am. He never gave in to abandonment, but was faithful to her right to the end. Roy Bailey, you are to be commended for your diligence and devotion to Shirley. You leave a legacy for all other men to follow if and when they also come to this point in their life. I shared with Roy a poem that was written by Judith Bullock Morse. I'd like to share that poem with you. The angels gathered near your side, so very close to you, for they knew the pain of suffering that you were going through. I thought about so many things as I held tightly to your hand. Oh, how I wish that you were strong and happy once again. But your eyes were looking onward to that place beyond the sky, where Jesus held his outreached arms. It was time to say goodbye. I struggled with my selfish thoughts, for I wanted you to stay so we could walk and talk again like we did yesterday. But Jesus knew the answer, and I knew you loved him so. So I gave you life's greatest gift, the gift of letting go. Roy loved Shirley so much that he told her it was all right to let go. You children also be commended for supporting your parents during this hard season in their lives. You have not left an example of love of those outside the family to see, but you have also example children and grandchildren to live. You've not left example for everyone, but for your children. May they learn that love, and may they share that with you when hard times come. May God richly bless you.
I'll admit my steps are growing wearier each day. Still I've got a certain journey on my mind. The lures of this old world have ceased to make me wanna stay. My one regret is leaving you behind. If it proves to be his will that I'm the first
want to what occurred in the family. Reading Luke 8, verse 12 through 26. The pastor went into the disciples and said to them, go out of and go. Sail, he was asleep. There came a storm of wind on the water, and came to him, woke him, and he arose to rebuke the rain of the water ceased. And he said, faith, they being afraid, saying one another, matters, for he asked even the water to obey him, and arrived at the cattle, which is Galilee. Sort of looked to be able to find these people, also find what in the heart of the and help us realize it is so much. There's some of it is to time and way that realize you Christ pray. There are three pictures of what is shift. It's so what experience of faith have had. First, we find out that these people are typical that they had many times before. It changes them in ways. Form only up with that was they made the board ship to the cast anchor anchor ship. So they did everything they could. But nothing worked. In their decision, they looked for Jesus. Running below, asleep, head on the pillow. Martin's how about 5:38, how they had him in sleep. They actually all do is walk. They rebuke us. They not prepare. In inspiration, asking Jesus, so many have been hard of life, and we feel like this is right that I seems the realization that Jesus all the time. He was there for the sheep. He was at peace. But when we went to Jesus, they asked Jesus to be part of their life, begin to change. This is what happened. Have the deaths in our life. Turn on to Jesus and realize, I can't live. I can't all this way and the same decision. This to live thrown down the hole, thrown out. They wait for the eve of the drown, but everything in so they choose. The question is head in time of stress. Is Jesus and yes, just went up to mid and here. he stormed on them. I gave up on deep position, but out on the boat. It was rough that day. At the time you see waves there, you look down at the old boat. And never went out that rough. And immediately, everything was. What Jesus tried to tell us, he said, look, you can look at me, I have control of everything. I can control the wind, I can control the water, I can control everything. Put your trust in me, and I'll carry you. And exactly they put their trust in God, realizing that in spite of all they do nothing else. They see Him carry God. That's what He did. He carried the other. He came home. See, she have to have anymore. But time to work with them, leave. I believe they all the suffering to the said, I'm willing to let it go. That's what the problem was. Jesus can calm the trouble. Whether for like these we're going to, whether separation, someone die of him brain, what situation is that can't help us, but I faith in him. He gave us stories to keep on. He used to do that. And I came to live. Verse 6 said they arrived at the country which is against the sea. They had not only arrived, great number of them, they were delivered to appointed destination. It was to God's destination. And I in their family. You would encourage, worked hard, faith, now yes. The Lord will safely beside him. You have joy, worship him, worship, allow him to come to you. That's like the other side. Just the time the Lord go there. Is in the Word of God. Go to the Word and tell you where God will show you this to give you soul. These times the Word is going to look around. These people love you. These people to stay and won't help. Won't hurt you. I love to be a part of your life. In this can't come on. Because see, I was just hard. Lord, that we all the time, and He's now share with you, share your life with Him. It's going to deal. This is my president's head to care of the to take to step. This is a new day, but it's you can march forward and that God is with you, and that He will help every crisis that you'll go. If this you've been in this crisis, I will overcome. Other people that go through that crisis, because you're there, and you know what it's like. You know what they need. Make you, as you knew that. Pray. Father, we make this what you, Lord, you already provided. Live and given a whole life and pure life as you were at home. Help us to do our walk. Help us not to do going the wrong way, withdraw to us in your prayer. You give us. We walk this path today. wonderful thing that Jesus, there will, but to they've never received Jesus Christ, Lord. And Christ is within their life. They have to depend on their abilities. We're going to find out a lot of their thinking and ability. We need Christ, Savior, to do in time to help us work in the spoke of here. The first of being saved is sinner. Him to three as for sin towards God. This is what mission made. The second is repent of the sins that he committed. Therefore, you won't live above child to God and will allow Jesus into your heart and save you. This is the plan of God. And his plan. This must be done if you see me again. Peace, miss Christ. I have help. Every head and I'm going to say the salvation. And if you're willing to say this prayer with me and mean what you say with all your heart, you shall be saved. Would you repeat after me? Dear Lord, I acknowledge that I am a sinner, and I ask my I ask you to come into my heart and save you. Thank you for saving every head, every eye. If you are there with me, would you lift your hand, not your action? Thank you, Lord. This is a congregation of people. You didn't stand there and say, pray, Lord, you reach them again because I know you say. If you, we should leave and go to the Baptist cemetery where we continue this dedication. Let's pray. Lord, this place for your protection, we trouble and Lord Jesus, and eventual report application. Praying with family.